Our topic for this evening, the gospel and human flourishing, reminds me of a sunny day in 1983 at the Student Union building of Dalhousie University in Halifax, Nova Scotia. I was a 20-year-old geeky agnostic hanging out at the Student Union playing war games with some friends. And along came 3 student ministry type guys who engaged me in evangelistic conversation. Now, as I remember it, likely with less charity than they deserve, these young men's approach was basically to try to argue me into the kingdom. They marshaled to their cause the British author C.S. Lewis as a kind of apologetic ringer brought in to seal the deal. It was clear that they wanted to save my soul, but I wondered, what about the rest of me? My life concerns at the time had very little to do with abstruse questions about original sin, justification, or the historicity of the resurrection, and everything to do with beer, girls, and jobs. And I was sure that neither some stuffed shirt English apologist nor the God that he was so excited about was going to help me much on those fronts. Now, although the kind of intellectual apologetics represented by these young men has gone out of fashion among evangelicals today, and I'm not sure that that's all to the good, the underlying anthropology, the tendency to treat humans as souls on sticks, has sadly not gone out of style. We're still living in a sacred, secular, spiritual, material divide as deep as the Grand Canyon. We love to dwell on spiritual things, but some of us still get nervous when someone suggests we should, for example, seek the peace and prosperity of the city by working for its renewal and remedying its injustices. Old fundamentalist voices still haunt us. Isn't doing that sort of thing just rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic, like those social gospel liberals? This conversation about human flourishing is not only important, it's urgent. Because what's sending our young people out of the church today is not, by and large, intellectual atheism, it's practical atheism. What's turning kids away from the faith isn't logical objections. They simply think of Christianity as irrelevant to their lives. And really, we've given them very little reason to think otherwise. In the years after that conversation in the Student Union, I fortunately encountered a less divided gospel, an understanding that God cares for us, body, soul, and community. And this gospel brought me into the church. And now, just a few years ago, I've discovered that C.S. Lewis, that mid-20th century scholar who spent half of his life reading medieval texts, did not actually believe or teach the divided, spiritualized, intellectualized gospel I'd heard from those young campus ministry guys. No, he absorbed from those same medieval texts a much more earthy faith, rooted in the incarnation. This faith spoke to ordinary folks about everything we care about, our whole experience, full human flourishing. This discovery about Lewis actually, and his medieval sources, so engaged me that I wrote a book about it. But don't take my word for it. Let's hear Lewis himself. Talking one day in 1947 to the nuns of Our Lady of Lourdes Hospital in Drogheda, Ireland, Lewis portrayed someone encountering Christianity for the first time. This person, he said to the sisters, might see Christianity's asceticism, its celebrations of martyrdom, its meditations on mortality, and its instructions to store up and treasure not on earth but in heaven, and conclude that this is essentially a world-denying religion. On the other hand, this person might look to the time of Christendom and see that almost every institution and social good, architecture, law, healthcare, poor relief, higher education, the arts, every one of these was built by the church. And they could conclude that this is a world-affirming religion. In fact, of course, our historic faith holds these two realities together. Only Christianity, Lewis said, leaves you free both to enjoy your breakfast and to mortify your inordinate appetites. I love Lewis's concluding thought to those nuns. In fact, for a long time, I put this at the bottom of every email I sent. Here's what he said about us Christians. Because we love something else more than this world, we love even this world better than those who know no other. Isn't that good? Because we love something else more than this world, we love even this world better than those who know no other. In fact, not only should we Christians love this world better than those who don't believe, we should also be better equipped to help our neighbors flourish in it. In an essay on the good life for a student audience, Lewis reminded his readers that Christianity claims to give a true account of the facts and to tell you what the real universe is like. And if that account is true, he said, then it is quite impossible that those who know this truth and those who don't should be equally equipped for leading a good life. While a Christian and a non-Christian may both wish to do good to their fellow men, the one believes that men are going to live forever, they were created by God, so built that they can find their true and lasting happiness only by being united to God, and that they have gone badly off the rails, and that obedient faith in Christ is the only way back. The other believes that men are an accidental result of the blind workings of matter, that they started as mere animals and have more or less steadily improved, that they're going to live for about 70 years, that their happiness is fully attainable by good social services and political organizations, and that everything else is judged to be good or bad simply insofar as it helps or hinders that kind of happiness. In short, Lewis concluded, the Christian and the materialist have different beliefs about the universe. They can't both be right. The one who is wrong will act in a way that simply doesn't fit the real universe. Consequently, with the best will in the world, he will be helping his fellow creatures to their destruction. Clearly, the stakes here are high. If Lewis is right, then if we want to love our neighbors by helping them to flourish, on the one hand, we cannot for a moment slip into the secularist view that we are just biological beings. But we cannot also, on the other hand, go around treating people like souls on sticks, as I perceive those young men in Halifax to be doing. If we want to help others flourish, we must first understand what our faith has to say to every dimension of human flourishing. Spiritual, yes, of course, but also bodily and social. And that's a crucial conversation for the church to have today.